Hi everyone, Tana's here from the Creative Outpost with my tutorial on my Graphic 45 Christmas time house. Now a few weeks back I did share with you my walkthrough video of my Christmas time house with the mini album. Today I'm going to do the tutorial on the mini album. We're going to build this. So this is part one. Part two will come to you a bit later on the mini album. But for now, let's do part one. I'll put all the cutting instructions below, but let's get to it. So first of all, you're going to need 8 pieces, I believe. 8 pieces of 6x6 chipboard. Now, if you don't have 6x6, obviously cut some 12x12. Then you are going to need 4 pieces of 6x6 designer paper for the base of your house. You're going to need 5 for the inside. Sorry, you're going to need more than that. You're going to need 7 for the inside if you do the inside of the roof, and you need 4 for the roof. So I have those already cut. The other thing you're going to need is paper hinges. As you can see, I have a vast array of them here. So what I've done is I score an entire sheet of 12x12 paper. I score it at the 1/2 inch and cut it at the inch, and then I prepare these paper hinges so I'm ready to go. So the first thing we are going to do on this house is we are going to build this front, because we're going to cut out the space for the windows, we're going to cut out the door, and then we're going to use that as a template for our designer paper before we stick the house together. So I have drawn that for you, and again I will have a nice clear picture of this below. But basically I've gone 1.25 inches from the top. I've gone 1/2 inch in. Sorry, I should back up. First thing I did was I drew my center line, which was 3 inches, 3 inches. Then I went 1/4 inch down and 1/2 inch in from the center line and from the edge on both sides. My windows are 1¼ inches deep by 2 inches across. Then I did my door. My door is 2 inches and it is 2¼ inches, I apologize, deep. So that is the front of the house. Again, I will have these cutting instructions below. To cut these out, all I used was my trusty X-Acto blade and my ruler. I don't think you need to watch me cut those out, so I have cut them ahead of time for you. So, this is what we did. I have cut this all out. Windows and doors. And here you can see already I've put the windows in. This was very simple and I'm going to show you. All I did was I cut some crafting wire. Sorry, you will need some crafting wire, I forgot that. Crafting wire to the appropriate lengths. So I did a nice long piece across the middle, and then I did 2 shorter pieces. Then I took a piece of acetate. Now, I have also used the plastic clear pages from a 12x12 scrapbook page that I had laying around. All I did was cut it to the length, laid it down. You sequang around it, secured it. That is the front of our house. Easy breezy. So those windows, literally, it took me about 2 minutes. So now we're going to put this together. To do that, we're going to use our paper hinges. Oh, the door, by the way, you do want to keep the door side. We will attach it after. Okay, now we are going to start to attach our house. As you can see, this is what we need to do. I always like to double check. This is 6 inches. All right. I have a bunch of these pre-cut at 6 inches. When I use my paper hinges, I make sure to fold them and burnish them. They lay much flatter when you burnish them. And you can see that I folded it backwards here. The reason being is I like to take my scissors and just take a very tiny, thin cut down to the corner. Just so when they overlap, they just seem to lay a bit smoother. That's really all I do, folks. Okay, let's get this together. Here we go. It is really a very fast project, the house. Once I've got the sequang. Now when you put your first piece on, Get it close to your fold line, but not over top of your fold line. And I push it down with my hand. I give it a quick burnish on this side. Now I take my second piece, and I like to butt them right up to each other. Then I literally just push that up and flip it over, burnish it. Okay, there's a base and a wall. Now we're going to do the other side. Same procedure. We get our 6-inch paper hinge. And if you give it a trim, folks, that is literally your personal preference. You don't have to give it a trim like I do. It's just a preference. I sometimes think I like all these little black pieces all over the place. So, I do use sequin here. I have seen people use tape runners, etc. I'm just very comfortable with the sequin. Or schwang, as I like to call it. Okay, there's that side down. Now I'm going to make sure that I butt it up against here again. And yes, I eyeball these. I eyeball everything. I don't do a ton of planning when I build. And anyone, if you follow me, you already know that, as I just plan by the seat of my pants. Okay, what I would like to do now is put the back on. So I want it here because I want to make sure when I bring it up that I've got it together. All right. Now, this is chipboard and it is paper. And in my world, if it's not 100% perfect, that's okay, because I can always fix my edges. I'm going to put paper hinges inside as well. Now you can see here I have a little bit of a paper hinge hanging over that sometimes can impede me a little bit. So I just take my scissors, and yes, these are my fussy cutting scissors. I know they're huge, but I love them. And then I'm just going to add this here. Again, making sure I do not cover that fold line. I'm going to line up my back here. There we go. Get my edge up. Burnish it. All right, now, when we do the sides, as you can see, we've already got the box. Now probably would be the time to put the front on, but I didn't trace around the front. So I wanted to show you that, what I was going to do. So what I did was I selected which one of my papers I was going to use on the base of my house. So I've picked this one, and this is from the solids and patterns of Christmas time. So I am using the patterns and solids, as you can see, as well as the collection pack. So this is just, I just love this kit. This is phenomenal. So, but I'm a Graphic 45 freak. I get so excited for Graphic 45. So remember this. What I did before I put the windows in was I literally laid this down on my designer paper, took my handy dandy pencil, traced around. That was my template. Then I took my X-Acto blade and I cut those pieces out. So now I have my front ready to go on my house, and I don't have to worry about trying to figure it out once it's all together. I'm also going to use this piece for my template for the reverse side before I cover it, etc. inside. So let's get the front on. Now, these pieces should be 2 inches. 2 inches, 2 inches. So all I need is a strip. I need 2 inches. Now, for those of you who don't have a Caterpillar, just grab your handy dandy cutter and use which one you like. I love my Caterpillar, so I use it constantly. All right. On a smaller piece like this, and I usually do dry fit. I know I didn't do that earlier, but I like to dry fit to make sure that I have everything the right length. That's going to work. If it's a bit long, I can always trim it off. All right, I'm going to again line this up. And remember, guys, this is all done by the seat of my pants. I want people to be able to create and enjoy the process. I try and tell people that create with me or around me to create like crazy and cut with wild abandon. The reason being is this should be fun. Let's not be inhibited. Let's just have fun. Enjoy the process. And that's why I don't really ever plan anything, and I kind of see what happens. As you can see, I'm a little long there. So I do have a smaller pair of scissors, I must confess. So I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to trim that up. I have to come this way, can't do it the other way. There we go. Trim that up. It's out of there. And then this is literally just going to fit on here. That's going to come up like that. And we almost have our house done, which is so much fun for me. Okay. So this, again, I'm just going to line it up. Make sure to not go over the folds. Now you can see we have the semblance of our house. So if I look here on the side, I'm going to have a quick measure and see where I am. Oh, surprise, surprise, 6 inches. Perfect. I am going to put a paper hinge inside and out to give the box extra stability. And I didn't cut this one, as you can see. So let's start with the back. Okay, I'm going to lay this down. One thing about sequin is it isn't always forgiving. So if you like something forgiving, then by all means use what you're comfortable with. All right. Burnish, burnish, burnish. As you can see, it's already starting to take shape. Now I come back after, but I'm going to try it. There we go. I always try and make sure I get those edges down, because sometimes it takes a bit. All right. We already have one side of our box together, and it's looking like we have both together already. All right, let's do the next side. Oh, I love this. This is the process, the part of the process that I absolutely love, because it's unfolding before my eyes. I hope that you can get a sense of how much I enjoy doing this, because I truly do. I truly enjoy building these. I enjoy working with Graphic 45. It is my absolute favorite. Okay, here we go again. Make sure I'm in camera. Sorry, I have quite the system here. My husband set it up for me. It's incredible. However, I do have to check every now and then that I am in camera, so I apologize if I'm out of camera. I'm still a novice. I'd like to say I'm not, but I am when it comes to all of this. Which isn't that incredible about what we do is even novices, get encouragement, get amazing comments from people like, beautiful project, is there going to be a tutorial? I don't know how many of you said that to me, and I was overwhelmed and very touched, so I'm doing my tutorial for you. As you can see now, we've got 3 sides, and we have the front. I mean, this is coming together so incredibly well. I'm so excited. Burnish another 6-inch piece, give it a little trim. And then we can get this on here. And sometimes I do turn it this way, make sure I'm in there, fold it. Now, if you ever had a little piece like that, because occasionally it happens, this is my trick. If you have black paint, you could use black paint. I take a little Sharpie, and really no one but me is even going to know it's there. Just a little trick I learned. One more hinge. Can you believe that we already have the base of our house built? And don't be alarmed by those windows. It is so simple. You do not have to put the wire in. The craft wire is just something I added sort of last minute on the original project, just because I like the look of it. And it can be, this one is in front, so it can be in front of the windows, or it could be over top on the back behind the acetate, however you would like it. It's just a personal preference, always a personal preference. Now, you'll see I took both sides off. The reason being I'm on the last side. So I'm not going to have it open to get to it. So what I'm going to do, to have it facing me, I think this way, is, and quite often, there we go, I will take it and put the edge in here to start it. And then I know that I am good. There we go. Good for the edge. Good for the edge. All right. All right. There is the base of our box. Now, I'm going to give that a little trim. I saw that sticking up. And sometimes I can cut them quite easily, and sometimes not so easy. There. All it takes is a little bit of fiddling around. Okay, so now I want to reinforce this because your mini album might be quite heavy. So we're just going to run pieces inside. This is where I really do dry fit. I really do, guys, because yes, it's 6 inches, but sometimes it's just a little tight, or maybe you just need a smidge off. This is where I do usually make sure that I take that little angle so it goes down into the corner. And you see that the tape's got to be this way. So don't be alarmed if you've made all these and you've folded them. They're paper hinges, you can fold them both ways. Okay, that's how that's going to go. So we are going to put this one in there. And these ones, yes, I do peel. All of it at once. Literally stick it in the corner. Get my bone folder, burnish it up the side, and that one's done. On to the next. Because this is a fairly fast project, this part, mini album too. I mean, it's, when I build a mini album, again, the flips and flaps and the pages are just whatever strikes me at the moment. Okay, this one I did not dry fit. You see, I'm already peeling it and I didn't dry fit it. So please, don't always follow my instruction in that front. And I'm a little bit long, so I will fix that. In it goes. I'll just trim that off after. Okay, I am going to dry fit the next one and make sure. Okay, it is a little bit long, that one. So I am going to cut a little bit off. I did grab one that I knew was a little bit longer, so I would actually be forced. Let's see. That's better. There we go. And now our box is getting quite strong, which is good because, I mean, in my world, when I build things like this, this becomes part of my Christmas display, and that display then is picked up and loved and cherished and you know, people flip through it. So I want it to be sturdy. Now, if you have really good guests and they're not ever going to pick it up, then I guess you don't have to worry as much. But I like a nice sturdy box. I do this pretty much, the only thing I don't do this inside edge on is if I'm doing an explosion box, because it wouldn't fall down. I'm very, very excited, guys. Thank you for joining me for this tutorial. And I will endeavor to get part 2, the mini album, done as soon as I can for you. So here is our, whoops. I love using this bone folder in there. It just gets it all nice and straight. Now I need, literally I need pieces down that side, and that side. Whether or not I do out here, that's a personal preference. We'll see. I probably will, but we'll just wait and see. Okay. Now this, as you can see, it's a little bit tight. So when I cut those edges, that will definitely help. Take that little piece off. So I'm just taking like just a smidge off. That's a very technical term, by the way, smidge. Dry fit it. Hope my head didn't get in the shot there. Okay. Now again, if you're using black chipboard, as I quite often do, you aren't going to, this is just like an extra piece. So in we go. I have a little fold there, but that's okay, I can fix it. That happens occasionally. And I'm out of 6-inch ones, so I'll just make a couple more very quickly. Now, you'll notice sometimes, like I say, oh, well, that's got a teeny bubble in it, or I got to straighten that, or I got to flatten that. I don't get too worked up about it. Primarily, guys, because this is a fun process for me. This is my relaxation. This is my therapy. I work a lot of long hours. Right now it's tax season for me, so I work a tremendous amount of hours. And so anytime I can get into the scrap hovel, as I like to call it, and create and share my love of creating with all of you, it is a wonderful day. Okay, now we've got this. We've got one more piece to put in. I'm not going to put one in here. That's a pretty sturdy piece. I don't need to put the ones in the front. Personal choice. But I'm going to put this one in here. There we go. We got both sides done now. And now I just am going to do the back piece. And then I look inside and say, are you sure you're not going to do the front? Need to trim a little bit off of there. Alright, so trim that. Again, just a little bit. Oh, it needs just a smidge more. So this is why I dry fit here. So again, I just take those scissors, do a tiny trim to the edge on a bit of an angle, so I can kind of have that point to go into the corner. Come back. It's all stuck on my fingers. And sometimes you get one piece you have to trim and trim and trim, like this one. I will trim it one more time. I took a bit bigger piece off that, so I'm only going to do the one end. I don't want to make it too short. Perfect. And no, there's no science to that. That is literally as scientific as it gets. I just do little trims until it fits. Okay. All right. In with the bone folder, into the edge. I don't always use the pointy point part here. If you're gentle, by all means you can. I'm not, as you can see. I like to just push things in there. So there is our house already. And I typically don't decorate the bottoms. It's up to you. You can put paper on the bottom. I typically don't. So there is the front of our house. We're already that far. The door will be the very last thing we do. Okay, now we need to do the lid. This lid is 2 6x6 pieces and 1 6x6 piece cut in half. So I have my 2 6x6 pieces, and as you can see, this was how they were joined. So that is how we will join them with a 6-inch paper hinge. I do use all kinds of chipboard. This was, I think, probably the original one I drew on, and I wasn't very straight. It was all crookedy, so I literally just redrew one. And I'll use that, like I said, for the roof. And away we go. I find, too, after I've been doing those paper hinges for inside, I tend to peel off both sides, which always makes it, the first piece down, always sticky. Okay. Make sure we're not on the edge. There we go. Here's our roof. Whoops. Might help if I actually burnished it on there. Okay, this one I definitely need to burnish. I'm going to get my big burnisher. Okay, so now that is our roof. So, as I said, this middle is literally just, the end pieces are literally just one more piece of 6x6 chipboard cut in half. All right. I am going to be using a black piece here because I have misplaced my other piece. So, without further ado, let's get a black one cut and fit in there. Alright, so I am going to bring up my gray board. Bear with me a moment. It might be a little bit dark, but it's a safer cutting surface. So for this, if you like, you could draw a line. I'm literally going to take my ruler. I'm going to line it up corner to corner. Then I'm going to get my rotary cutter. I use a rotary cutter like this. They're all the rotary blades that I used in quilting. I have now taken them and used them all in my chipboard and mini album house box building enterprises. Sometimes I have to push a couple times like that. There we go. We're done. So you don't need a lot of fancy tools. That's the other thing I want to relay to you. I mean, if you have all the fancy tools, fantastic. I don't have a ton of fancy tools. I want to be able to use what I have on hand. So I do. Now, as you can see, here is how this is going to fit. So I always let's double check, but I can guarantee 6 inches. All right. Okay, so we have our end pieces together to do our roof. Now we are going, we have our roof together. Now we're going to do our end pieces. All I do for that, ladies, is I literally take my ruler and I use my rotary cutter. Yes, these are all the rotary cutters I used in quilting. I've now traded them all over and I use them in my scrapbooking. Give this a good cut. There we go. Okay, so now I have 2 halves. From here, I am going to I'm going to use those paper hinges again and connect it in here. So that's how it's going to connect. It's in there. So let's get to work. Let's get our 6-inch paper hinges in here. So fold them again, I always fold them the back way. Give them a quick burnish. Flip them over. Give them a quick burnish. And this one I am going to give a little trim like I have been. So just that very edge. Just take that very, very edge off. There we go. And now, okay, once we get one side down, we can, you'll see that it's overhanging, and that's okay because I'll just trim that off. Okay, so that's on there. I am going to give that a little trim off. Off that comes. And now we're here. So this is going to fit here. So sometimes I have to think about which way it's going to go. There we are. Okay, so let's peel this off. And we're going to add this to our side. So it's probably easiest if we literally, putting that down with my left hand's a bit of a challenge, so bear with me. There we go. Right there. And then I reach over here and I flip this edge up. Just as long as I get it stuck, then I am going to flip it over, get that big burnisher out again, and burnish it. All right. Might as well get that second piece on right now. No, actually, I think this time, because I do recall this was a bit difficult last time when I built this, is I am going to do this side on here now. So I've got this side on, and now I'm going to do this side. So we get out that strip again. Give it a quick trim. Just that little bit. That one was a bit wide, but that's okay. Just to the corner. Just gives it that little, finishes it off, makes it clean. Okay, we're going to get this laid down here. By now you guys are a pro at these paper hinges, I know. Okay, I am going the right way. And I'm going to burnish that on there. Got that little piece there, I'm going to give it a trim. Try to remember to get it off of my work area because it's got sequin on it. You can see how fast that roof came together. All we need now are 2 more paper hinges. So we get them folded. And I'm going to give it a little dry fit. See how I'm looking right here for length. Actually, I think that one's okay. I don't actually need to trim this one. But I am going to burnish it. And I'm going to put it on. Going to get it on this side. Now, don't be alarmed, because I have actually tried to put it on that side when I first built this roof. So it does happen, and it kind of made me giggle that that's what I tried to do. Okay, down it goes. I'm going to trim that off now. That one's gone. All right, now. Oh, see? Okay, see now what I've done? I've done it inside. So we're going to do our inside seam apparently first. No big deal. It's not like it can't be done that way. As I said, things do happen sometimes when you're building. And this is a prime example. And I'm not going to edit it out, ladies. I'm not. I'm going to show you that that can happen. So now I have this side of my roof. I'll get myself a 6-inch strip and we'll dry fit, see where we are. This one I am, because it's going on the top, I am going to give it that trim. So I'm going to give it a decent trim here, corners. Now let's see how that lays down. I think that lays down pretty good there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right. So I'm going to line that up to the corner, burnish that down. I'm going to peel this one off because I want to get this laid down together. There we go. I'll burnish this now much better, but I just wanted it okay. There's our roof. So I had planned on securing the inside, so we can do that. We have to do this edge now because I did it the opposite way. Dry fit. I like that one that length. I'm going to leave it like that. The one other thing we are going to do on this is I am going to wrap the edges of my roof. Now on my original one, my original project, I did not wrap these edges. So I'm going to look. Sometimes I wrap these in black paper, but because this one is not black cardstock, so I didn't wrap these because it was black cardstock, I am going to wrap this in black cardstock. I just literally like the look of it, so I'm going to do that. Now let's get this lined up here, and we wrap it just with paper hinges. I know you find that very surprising, the amount of paper hinges we've used today, but that is okay. All right, give it a really good burnish down. There we go. All right. Now, that is, I can't believe that's our roof already. So here is our house. Here's our roof. So now, there we go. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's get these edges wrapped though. I think I do want to wrap this edge as well. So we're going to use a 6-inch piece. We're going to wrap these edges. You get the picture. You don't need me to do that on camera. We're going to wrap those edges. And when I come back, we are going to start decorating. I'll see you shortly. Hi everyone. I wanted to show you a quick little tip that when I wrap these, that I wanted to mention when I wrap the edges. When I'm doing the edges, and on these long sides, you'll see I did cut away a fairly large amount because it is sharp. So it's up to you if you want to have that like that. But what I do is I run a bead of glue down here. So what I do is I take my glue and I just literally run it down this edge. And what that enables it is for the paper hinge, sorry, I was focusing there for a minute, the paper hinge to lay nice and flat and to really adhere to that edge. So I'm going to get that on here. So I have glue dripping everywhere. Then I'm going to just, if I lay that on that edge, get it here, then I'm going to burnish it down. And this is where the glue comes in, because I get that nice smooth edge. Make sure I take my burnisher on here, get it flat, whoops, flat in here, and there we go. One last edge here, and then we can start to decorate. Might as well do this fast. Here we go. Now that trick I learned from watching a former brand ambassador for Graphic 45, and I apologize if I do not say her name right, Alexandria Morin. She is amazing. You can see her projects all over the place, and she loves Graphic 45, so she does a lot of Graphic 45, which I love. Okay, so now we have those down. And you know, anytime you have an edge hanging out that you don't like, you just trim it off, and away it goes. I have that little bit showing there, just it was hard to cover, so I'll just go in with my Sharpie, color it in, color this one in. All right, and there is our roof on our house. Excellent. Now we can decorate. So we've got our roof, we've got our house, and it is time to get decorating. Now I said I had that template, and I want to make sure I use it. So on the inside of my house, I've decided this is the outside of my house. My roof I am going to do in this designer paper. And my inside, I think, is going to be the green check. Now, all of these are cut 6 by 6. I will cut them down just, except the front, just a little bit. To go inside, they'll have to cut down. I will ink all the edges, and we'll decorate. So, let's grab an ink to play with. I have no idea what ink I'm going to play with. So I think I am just going to grab, actually, ground espresso. Kind of like that idea. So I'm going to use ground espresso. And I'm going to get this all inked up so we can get decorating. Now, as I've been working on this project, I'm wondering if I am going to put a door on. I usually put a door on, but I may not put a door on. And again, this is a complete preference. This is how I ink. I love these little dabbers. Okay, got that all inked up. Here I use a combination of sequin and glue. I like the combination of both. I find it just works really well. So this is literally all I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate. I'm going to pick this on my sides. I am going to utilize this one for my roof. And when we come back, you can see where we finished up. For this point, we literally are going to cut this in half again. We're just going to make sure that we go corner to corner. I just took it over to my cutter, put it corner to corner. Oh, yes. All right. I may even flip this and have that on the edges, and then have this on the sides. I think I like that. Okay, let's decorate this roof. Let's get this roof done, because now I'm excited about the roof. If you want a little bit of the black showing, you can trim that down more. I actually like how that fits. I do like that. So I'm going to ink that, and let's get that down. Another one I might use here is wild honey. But I'm kind of grooving on the ground espresso at the moment. So I am going to utilize that. The reason I use sorry about that. The reason I use a combination of sequin and glue is I find that for me, it enables me to have it adhere to the entire surface. Some people use just glue, some people use just a tape runner, some people use sequang, and as you've heard me say throughout this project, you do what works for you, because this is your project, not my project. And I do like the ease of the sequang. And as you can see, I don't really measure anything. Okay, I'm using art glitter glue. For those of you who use art glitter glue, I absolutely love art glitter glue. One, because it dries clear, so if it does ooze out, it's dried. All right, let's get this down. Okay, I'm happy with that there. Get my burnishing tool. Burnish it. Oh, I like how that looks already. Okay, let's get the other side on. This paper is so beautiful. I so love Graphic 45. It is absolutely amazing, this Graphic 45. Okay. Looks like I have sequang oozing out, or art glitter glue oozing out all over the place. Where I live in British Columbia, we sometimes get a change in weather very, very quickly. I live near a lake called the Little Shuswap in Chase, British Columbia, and it is sometimes quite humid. And for whatever reason, when we're having a humid day or an overcast day, my art glitter glue likes to migrate from the bottle if I don't close it. And normally, I put the pin back in it right away, or I tend to lose the pin on my desk somewhere. Because if you are like me, when you are creating, you have stuff everywhere. I have stuff everywhere, all the time. Oof, I'm going to have to fix that bottle, because this glue is everywhere. All right. Get that down. All right, now let's do this side. Okay. So that, I can see, was not down flat when I turned it on its side, as is that point, not down flat. Now it is. Perfect. I definitely like that. Yep. All right. Again, now some people will adhere this. They will cut a 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch off. And lots of times I will too, but I actually, right now, am really preferring to use this full size. So I am. Get my sequang. So I'm going to have to put this board down because I'm having glue going everywhere, and this board is going to be a little bit easier for me to manipulate. There we go. All right, so let's get this. We'll get that side of our roof done. And I use all various widths of sequang. I kind of use whatever's close to me when I grab it. One I am particular is in the mini album. If I want a particular width on my hinges or on a spine of something, then I'll use one of my wider ones. My typical size of sequang is the 9.5 mm. Yes, I'm Canadian, so everything's in millimeters. I believe that's a 1/2 inch. I use that in the 12 mm a lot. The thinner ones, the 5 and the 7, I don't use as much, but again, that's not because I don't like them, just because I tend to gravitate towards the other one. Okay, I am going to get this glue bottle dealt with before I go any farther, because it's an absolute mess. Put the pin in here. I can clean it up off camera after. Okay, now want this on here. So here we go. Sorry, I'm going to have to turn this a little bit to myself. I can actually... That's where I want it. All right. Then I get my big bone folder out. This has already completely changed the look of this. It is amazing, actually. Absolutely amazing. And ink the next one. Get some. See, now I've grabbed another size. This would be my 9.5. Okay. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but if I had my preference, I probably would design 99.9% of my projects in Graphic 45. I absolutely love it. Every time I look at a Graphic 45 collection, I see something different. You know, maybe originally I saw this, well I did, I originally saw this house with the, oh now I'm going to put the glue on and I haven't even peeled it off yet. Oh well, that is always a way to do it. With the holly and the gears. And then this time I was like, oh, I want that beautiful goldy color, and I want the reindeer, and I see different things every time. Every time I use a Graphic 45 collection, I see something different in it. And I'll be honest, using Graphic 45, I get super excited, super stoked to create. I want to spend nothing but all of my free time, as many I'm sure of you do want to do, in my scrap hovel, as I call it, creating and sharing and doing all the rest of it. But what I find most exciting is when I'm all done a project and I have all those little scraps of my Graphic 45, because I don't throw any scraps out, because then they become embellishments for cards, other scrapbook pages, other scrapbook projects. Oh, that was stuck to my finger. All right. Okay. Our roof is decorated. That's it already. That is how fast this project comes together. Now we are going to do the house. And as you can see, we got our cutout. I mean, it's very simplistic. Guys, this decorating stuff, you don't need to watch me to decorate the whole thing. But I just wanted to show you how mine was going to come together. I was very excited to get the roof done. I will finish decorating this. I will come back. And we'll add some embellishments and the door. See you soon. Okay, we're on the home stretch. We've got our house all decorated inside and out, except that front piece, and the reason being is we're going to do the door. We have the roof decorated inside and out, so we are good to go. So remember that little piece we cut out of the front chipboard? Well, that's a door. So I put a paper hinge on here. I did try it, so I'm going to put new adhesive on there. And I just found a scrap from the collection kit that I'm using on the front and the back of the door. Now I've got to punch a hole for my doorknob. So I'm just literally using this pokey tool, as I like to call it. I have a hole there, punching it through. Then I have my second piece of door, and I am using the same color on both sides. Glue this down. Okay. And it is a smidge bigger than, there I go again, that smidge, that technical term, than the chipboard, which I like because it kind of sandwiches the chipboard in there. So now I go back to this hole, poke through it. I go both ways just to make sure the hole is. And I have this little doorknob that I just moved somewhere. Ah, here we go. So this little piece, I do believe it's a leg, a little tiny leg. Anyways, it was from my stash, and I am going to use that as my doorknob. I will put in the description down below what kind of little leg that is that I used for a doorknob. All right, so there we go. There's our doorknob. Now I'm going to get a piece of sequin. I'm going to re-adhere it to here. The reason I haven't put that cover piece in yet is because I want to attach the door. And then I'm going to put the paper over top of it. Okay, so I'm literally just putting that right there, reaching in. I don't know if you can see that okay. There we go, a little bit. Use my burnishing tool, burnish that down. There's my door. Oh, I like that. Okay, now I'm going to ink this up. This is our final piece. A few little shreds here and there. And as I said before, I used the front template to cut this out. So I had a template for the inside as well. I did that before I laid down the template, doing like what I described on the front. Laid it on top of the designer paper, used my pencil, cut around it, and then literally glued it in. So that I've already dry fit, but I'm going to make sure. Okay, it fits. Let's get some glue on here. Because we are in the home stretch. Because now is where your creativity is going to come through. Even more, you are going to decorate this as you would like. Now, I used glue on this and no sequin for two reasons. I wanted to be able to move it a little bit inside if I needed to, and I did that. So now I can stick it down. All right, so there is, oh, I am so excited for this, guys. Here is our Christmas time house with graphic 45. Oh, now, I always have to play with the lid. I don't know why. There we go. Probably because I start making everything so thick. But it will be stiff initially. There we go. It will be stiff initially. Now it's time to embellish. This is where now you can play unbelievably with all of those die cuts that come from Graphic 45. And the chipboard and the stickers. So, and the journaling cards. Oh my, my, my. We have so much to play with. So, I am going to bid you adieu because I think that at this point it is really, oh, I like that. It's really up to you to decorate this how you feel. And not necessarily the way I do it, but just literally whatever makes you happy. So, remember to create like crazy, cut with wild abandon, and enjoy the process. Thank you for watching my tutorial. I've been so excited to share it with you. I look so forward to enjoying sharing more and more and more projects with you. Thank you, and we'll see you soon. As you can see, I just already start to play with the stickers. I know I said goodbye, but apparently I just want to play with the stickers. So this is where you embellish it yourself. You figure out what you want, add to it, flowers, stickers, embellishments, and we go from there. Have a great day again. Remember, cut like crazy. Sorry, create like crazy, cut with wild abandon. And I hope you've enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed doing it. I've been very excited to share this with you. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Okay, let's do the final phase. This is our embellishment phase. So as you can see, I have pieces, I have the stickers, I have scraps of the paper, I have some of the chipboard pieces, and then of course I have all of these lovely die cuts. Now oh my. I do like that there. It does kind of coordinate with the door, so I think that is going to stay there for sure. Then now I start to play. You know, and sometimes you just have to look at what else you have for scraps. And that sometimes can be the piece that you want to utilize, maybe you don't want to utilize. You just sort of look at what you have. Okay, so I have this piece from the 8x8 pad, and I think I'm going to cut out a couple of these elements, and then I can put them on, because I just think they'd be fun on here. So literally that's kind of how I decide, guys. I'm just going to go in here. Now on this one, I do like the edge, kind of that edge, so I'm just literally going to cut, as you can see, no rhyme, no reason. Just going to kind of cut it along so I have a bit that looks like a stamp. I guess if you have a stamp die, you could try and fit it in there, but I kind of like just freehanding it, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. All right. Now, how you embellish your house, again, is completely up to you. It's a complete personal preference. But I do like, okay, that's going on the side. So I'm going to take this off for right now. And I want to decorate this side. I like that. What else do we have here? We have all kinds of things here. Now, I could put a big piece on here. I could choose to do that, or I could simply choose some of the stickers. And I really like the stickers. I'm going to work on, leave that idea there for a moment. I do like that. I'm going to come back here. Now, I am going to go back and get my ground espresso. That is definitely one I like. And I've used it on most of this house, this Christmas house. So I am just going to ink this edge. Now this one could pop out. You could pop out. Graphic 45 has it so it'll pop out. I actually want it in there. You could put ribbon through the holes. I don't want ribbon for now. I just like to ink those edges, and I am literally, if I put that there, then I think that I want so when I'm working on this part of the project, I just wait to see what inspires me. I do not ever have a plan. I promise you, I don't ever have a plan as to what works for me. I just kind of run with it. Now, there's all kinds of stickers. As you can see, when I did this before, I have used a few of them. But I do have a fair amount. Now, I would like this on the front of my house. So I've taken this sticker and I am literally going to just lay it down on that edge. Trim off a little bit off each end. Okay. Now, I'm going to make sure that's down. Now, whether or not I do it on the back, I'll have to see it. Just kind of like that on the front for the time being. So I'm going to tuck that back on there. Save for a later date. I have this here. There is some fun stickers here. So I might do some layering. Because why not? Okay, see, I've already changed my mind. I like this on here. Do you like that on there? And this, I'm just going to decorate the roof. You'll get the idea as to what I'm going to do. And it's sort of how I roll, because I don't really decide until I get looking at it as to what I really need to do. Okay, I think that now is going to go on the bottom of my house. I like it on the sides, so I'm going to decorate the sides. I am going to, and I do make this kind of mess, guys, when I do it, just so you know. I want something for the door. That I do want. And I do like that little joy sign. I think I'm going to put joy on the door. Of course, I could put Noel on the door. No, Noel is going on the door. So I'm going to bring that down here because I didn't put it on very straight. And I'm simply going to add the Noel. There we go. And you could I could fussy cut out one of those wheels and punch it up. That would be very cool. I may go back to this on here, kind of like how it ties into the door. So I am going to put that there. I am going to see what kind of fun I can have. Okay, what I'm going to do is I am actually going to fussy cut this out. I just kind of got an idea. And as I mentioned, this is how, in fact, I decorate. This is, I don't make a plan until I get to the stage. And then I just do whatever inspires me. And right now, this paper, I love this paper with the holly berries, the leaves, the gears. I just, Again, when I first started using this collection, fussy cutting this out was really not something I thought of. And as you'll notice, when I fussy cut, I guess you could almost call rough cutting it. But I'm going to ink it. And I just let the scissors take me where I need them to go. Because I don't necessarily always want all of it. And I can use that for something else. But I do like the look of that gear. That's what I sort of wanted. And then the holly just kind of stepped out of there from there. And away we go. So, I want those kind of rounded, which is why I went the way I went. So there's so many elements, as you all know, there's so many elements in a graphic 45 piece of paper that you could literally if all you had was a pad of graphic 45 paper, you could build this house, you could embellish it, you could decorate it all with your graphic 45. You don't need all the fancy pieces if you don't have them. And if you have them, oh, that's even way more fun. So I'm just going to cut this in here. Just going to take a little bit out here. Go back in there a little bit. Okay. And I want to lay this down now on here. I'm going to tuck that off to the side. Oh, that I really like. That is now going to be the front of our ceiling, and with a little piece of green ribbon. Okay, so I pulled this out of my stash, this piece of green ribbon. I am going to tie a bow. Fancy, I know, but that is how I tie bows. And I typically leave one leg a bit longer. I always have. I'm not sure why. I'm not even sure when it started, but that's just how I do it. And I'm going to drape that right in there. And if I don't like it, I retie it. Okay, let's get this. There we go. That's a little bit better. This is a bit of a stiff ribbon, which is kind of fun, actually, to play with. Oops. Now I want those to puff out again. Come back, come back. There we go. That is how I am going to do my ceiling. So, as you can see, this is a work in progress as I go. My roof is going to have that in the front. I quite like that. It's going to be on the front of my house, which I will finish decorating. But please do not be afraid to experiment and show your creativity. Show your fun side. So I'll get that stuck on so we can see what it looks like. Glue this one down first. Oh, I am quite happy with that. Quite happy indeed. Now, when I have a piece like this that is cut where the middle could pop out, I just make sure that there's lots of glue on that edge. So when I push it down, it is in fact down. Yeah, I'm going to angle that a little bit. Change my mind. Nope, I'm going to twist it back. Now, art glitter glue, the beauty thing with art glitter glue is it does dry clear. Alright, now this, I want ink. So I have my ground espresso. I'm just running over the edges just to give it a little. And you could go in here quite easily if you had Winkostella. You could go in and you could just add a little bit of glitter to those berries. Perk some right up. I think I'll do that, obviously. Put a little bit on the gear. Around the edge. I just kind of play with it, actually. Apparently I'm going to put it on everything. Alright. Winkostella is on. And I'm going to give this just some glue on the back. I like that coming up. Put the dollop of glue there. Let's hold it down for a second. You know, there's so many pieces to this Graphic 45 collection. So many things you could just tuck in. That little piece is just going to go right there. It's just one of the little die cuts. I saw it sitting there. I'm tucking it in. Now this I am going to cut. Actually, no, if I twist it a bit more, but I'm going to cut this. Yeah, there. I like that. Oh, look at that. Okay, let's get this back on our front. And let me twist it up. Look at that. Oh, I am so happy with that. I will you could continue to decorate it. I might leave this one a bit plain. Let your mind take you where you will. Have a great day. Enjoy the process. Create like crazy. Cut with wild abandon. Thanks for watching me on this tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you realize that I actually film like I create and everything's by the seat of my pants and I totally enjoy it that way. That for me is the best part of the process. Enjoy. See you soon.